Have you ever questioned the existence of God? If so, you're not alone. This question has sparked countless debates, stirred emotions, and inspired philosophical inquiries across the globe. It's a question that unites us in our human curiosity and our quest for understanding. The question of God's existence is, in many ways, a universal human experience. From the ancient Greeks to the modern scholars, this question has been the cornerstone of philosophical, theological, and scientific discourse. It's a question that transcends cultural boundaries, religious affiliations, and time periods. It's a question that has been asked by theists, atheists, agnostics, and everyone in between. Why is this question so pervasive, you might ask? Well, it's because it strikes at the core of our existence. It's a question that challenges our understanding of the universe, our place in it, and the meaning and purpose of life. It's a question that makes us ponder about morality, consciousness, and the nature of reality itself. So, what is the main question we're aiming to address in this video? It's simple. Does God exist? This is not a question to be taken lightly. It's a question that demands critical thought, open-mindedness, and a willingness to engage in intellectual exploration. It's a question that invites us to scrutinize our beliefs, evaluate our assumptions, and confront our biases. In this pursuit of truth, we'll be examining various arguments and counter-arguments about the existence of God. We'll be delving into philosophical theories, scientific findings, and personal experiences. We'll be challenging our preconceived notions and pushing the boundaries of our understanding. But remember, this is not about proving or disproving God's existence. It's about engaging in a conversation, a dialogue that encourages us to think, reflect, and grow. It's about fostering an environment where diversity of thought is celebrated and intellectual curiosity is nurtured. And so, as we embark on this philosophical journey, let's keep an open mind, a humble heart, and a thirst for knowledge. Now, let's delve into some logical arguments and counter-arguments about the existence of God. One of the most compelling arguments for the existence of God is the argument from design. This argument suggests that the intricate complexity and the meticulous order of the universe is indicative of a grand designer, an all-knowing, all-powerful entity, often identified as God. Think about it. The harmonious motion of celestial bodies, the intricate process of photosynthesis, the complexity of the human brain. All these phenomena seem too perfectly orchestrated to be mere products of chance, right? But let's delve a little deeper. The counter-argument to this is based on the concept of natural selection and random mutation, the bedrock principles of evolutionary biology. Life as we know it, in all its diversity and complexity, did not suddenly pop into existence. It evolved over billions of years, driven by the engine of natural selection acting on random genetic mutations. Take, for example, the eye, a marvel of biological engineering. The argument from design would suggest that such a complex organ must have been deliberately designed, but evolutionary biology provides a different explanation. The eye did not appear fully formed. It evolved gradually from a simple light-sensitive spot to the complex organ we have today, each step providing a survival advantage, and thus being preserved and built upon by natural selection. Similarly, the apparent order of the universe may not be the result of conscious design, but rather the product of natural laws of physics. The orbits of the planets, for instance, are determined by the law of gravity, not by the whims of a celestial designer. Let's consider chaos theory, which posits that complex and intricate patterns can emerge spontaneously from very simple initial conditions. A classic example is the beautiful, intricate pattern of a snowflake which forms spontaneously as the water vapor freezes in the atmosphere. No designer is required. So, while the argument from design is intriguing, it's not definitive proof of God's existence. It's more of a philosophical perspective than an empirical truth. It's a testament to the human tendency to seek patterns, to look for meaning, even when the processes at work are random and impersonal. The universe is indeed a marvel, but it's a marvel of natural laws and processes, not of divine design. While the argument from design is intriguing, it's not definitive proof of God's existence. Another argument often put forward is the argument from morality. This argument posits that the existence of moral laws implies a moral lawgiver. Simply put, it suggests that our inherent understanding of good and bad, right and wrong, must come from a divine entity who imbued us with these moral codes. It's a compelling argument that appeals to our intuitive sense of justice, our shared belief in certain ethical standards. Now let's delve a little deeper. The argument from morality hinges on the notion that moral laws are universal and objective, and therefore must be the product of a divine lawgiver. It's the belief that without God, there would be no basis for morality. Many people find comfort in this idea as it provides a clear-cut framework for moral behavior. But here's the counter-argument. Could it be that our morals are not divine laws, but rather the product of social evolution? This perspective suggests that our moral codes evolved over time as human societies developed. They were shaped by the need for cooperation, for peaceful cohabitation, for survival. It's like how certain behaviors are learned and passed down in animal communities because they aid survival. Consider this. Many moral codes vary from culture to culture, from era to era. If morality was a divine, universal law, wouldn't it be consistent across all societies and all times? The fact that our moral codes have evolved and continue to evolve suggests that they are shaped more by our changing societies and less by a static divine law. Furthermore, even within a single society, individuals often disagree on what is morally right or wrong. If morality was a divine law, wouldn't we all agree on what is morally correct? In conclusion, while the argument from morality is compelling, it doesn't hold up under scrutiny. It fails to account for the variance and evolution of moral codes across different societies and eras. The existence of moral codes can be explained through social evolution and does not necessarily point to a divine lawgiver. So the argument from morality, like the argument from design, doesn't conclusively prove God's existence. Many people claim personal experiences as proof of God's existence. This is the argument from personal experience, where individuals assert that they have had encounters or felt a connection with a divine being. These experiences are deeply personal, often profound, and can range from a sense of the divine during prayer or meditation to miraculous healings, visions, or even direct conversations with a higher power. For those who have experienced these phenomena, the existence of God is an undeniable truth, a reality as tangible and certain as the ground beneath their feet. But let's take a step back and examine this argument more closely. Personal experiences, while powerful and often life-changing, are subjective. They are influenced by our perceptions, beliefs, and even our psychological state. For instance, a person who has been raised in a religious environment may be more likely to interpret an unusual event as a divine intervention, while someone from a non-religious background may attribute the same event to coincidence or natural phenomena. Moreover, psychological factors can also play a significant role. Studies have shown that intense emotional states, certain mental health conditions, and even the use of certain substances can induce experiences that feel spiritual or divine. In other words, what we perceive as a direct encounter with God could be a product of our own mind. Furthermore, if personal experiences were a reliable proof of God's existence, wouldn't we expect more consistency in these experiences? After all, people from different religions have vastly different personal experiences of the divine, each claiming their own as the true one. This discrepancy only highlights the subjective nature of these experiences. This is not to diminish the value or significance of personal experiences. They can be transformative, providing comfort, guidance, and a sense of purpose. However, when it comes to proving the existence of God, they fall short. They are too varied, too personal, and too influenced by individual psychology to serve as universal proof. While personal experiences are powerful, they're also subjective and don't provide universal proof of God's existence. We've explored several arguments for and against the existence of God. Let's take a moment to reflect on the key points of our discussion. Firstly, we delved into the argument from design. This argument posits that the complex and intricate nature of our universe implies the work of an intelligent designer. However, we also considered the counter-argument that complexity does not necessitate a creator and that natural processes like evolution could account for the universe's apparent design. Next, we examined the argument from morality. This argument suggests that the existence of moral standards and values points towards a moral lawgiver, presumably God. Yet, we also reflected on the counter-argument that morality may be a product of societal evolution rather than divine command, and that moral standards can vary greatly across cultures and time periods. Then, we explored the argument from personal experience. Many people claim to have had personal experiences or revelations that confirm the existence of God to them. However, we also discussed the counter-argument that these experiences are subjective and cannot be used as universal proof of God's existence. They could be influenced by a myriad of factors, including culture, upbringing, and cognitive biases. In each case, we've seen that there are compelling arguments on both sides. The existence of God cannot be definitively proven or disproven. It's a topic that has sparked intense debates among philosophers, theologians, and scientists for centuries and will likely continue to do so. Therefore, the question of God's existence remains a deeply personal one. It's tied to our individual experiences, our cultural backgrounds, our personal philosophies, and our understanding of the world around us. It's not a question that can be definitively answered by any one argument or piece of evidence. As we can see, the question of God's existence is a complex one, without a definitive answer. It's a question that each of us must answer based on our own experiences, understandings, and beliefs.